Hey guys, I'm here from IntentionPlanet. My name is Claudio. This is Dan.
How's it going?
Dan the Man, as he's known for his business. You want to tell us a little bit about what you do, Dan?
Basically, I do gym and gymnastics and fitness for children from babies all the way to 12-year-olds with whole different types of different style.
Really, I was just so impressed with the way that you get the kids to listen to you, and I thought that that could be helpful, not just to me, but to a lot of other dads out there who are maybe struggling a little bit. You work with kids all day long, so I thought that it might be good for you to kind of tell us a little bit about your thoughts about what you learned along the way and what your approaches are with maybe even different kinds of kids.
Well, one of the biggest things is that you need to always think of it in a child's position. Like they're always thinking of fun. Like they're not thinking of what's going on in an adult's head. Adults are always trying to psychologically figure out what's going on in a child's head, and then make it so advanced and say, I'm going to figure out how to manipulate or get into this child's head, where it's really as simple as trying to just make it fun.
I totally do that. I know I struggle with that because I think these kids in a way are so smart that they seem to understand so many things that they should be able to understand very simple.
Yeah, and as an adult, you're like, I'm smarter than them. I should be able, and I've gone through life. I should be able to figure out, and I was a kid, but it's not like that. It's more like being a kid and figuring out what's gonna get them to open their eyes up and be like, what? Like, for instance, you said about, your child hiding under, the bed at certain times or couches, and it's, I can step on him if I don't know he's under there.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna like one of these days he's so quiet, I'm gonna actually step on his hand or something and really cause some damage. But
or some parents, you could just be like, this is unacceptable. And sometimes you have to stand up for what you think.
It's not one of those things that's so bad or serious that I want to draw the line on that. I'm not gonna pick my battles on the nose about those things.
It's not like your kid's running across the street.
No,
it's not the same. It's basically they're just having fun. They're being a kid.
There's this big gray area, where it's like it's not like he's doing anything really serious, but it's just really annoying.
Yeah,
it's like you're just so.
And a lot of times, adults and we get upset or frustrated because the child isn't listening, and that never works, and they know that. So your first approach is important. Because if you do, if you go at them right away with this like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this kind of thing, this is not right, it sometimes sets off this thing that never really, it's like almost like a waterfall that just, they're not, once you start saying that, they like blank you out,
Got it.
Sometimes I even get down to their level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times,
I noticed you do that. You actually I try to do that too. I get down on my knees or I sit down with them and I try to kind of be the way I'm with you right now.
Yeah, and it is, that's the kind of adult thing that you can say, that's the psychology of it, because you really are getting down to where they can see you eye to eye and they're not like looking up at you. And a lot of the times you want them to look up at you to show that you are the authoritative figure, but those are at different times.
Right. So you're saying use that position consciously when you're talking to someone. For men who are not as used to or as facile at speaking with children, any perspective that you could give that's just good general tips?
What I think is, a lot of dads just work, right? So they're away from their kids, and then when they get home or when they're with them, they only have limited time to even play with their kids. So some of the time they're spent reprimanding or saying, no, don't do that. Which is normal. You're a parent. You have to do that. But I can't stress enough how to get on a fun, comfortable relationship with your child, because when you get to that tense mode, sometimes they just shut off. There are tense modes that they need to respect to know that you're serious. For instance, like you said, I'm going to step on your fingers or even your head if you come sticking out of there.
Right, I don't know that you're there. Right.
And they don't realize that. And sometimes kids kids don't even understand that. They're like, we're just gonna get.
And I'm just not sure that's connecting at all.
Yeah, it'll never really connect with them. So you have to be the parent. Just like they don't realize if they walk into the street, they're really gonna get that hurt.
Of course.
They're like, they really don't realize. So certain things you have to be like, well, this is the reason why. And sometimes you don't have to tell the reason. You just say, this is it. Let's just move on. And sometimes parents, a lot of times, they sit there explaining so much of the reason
too much
why.
information. Right.
You just move on to something else, and that like fun, confusing switch to something else really helps. I recommend, like, if you're having something going on where your child is, and you're actually having a conversation that's a confrontation, and it's not working, just stop it and move to something else that's totally opposite. Just be like, all right, let's just forget it and go. And then once the situation is different, you can actually be like, so do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of times too, I try to compliment. I give them a compliment, and within the compliment, I'm explaining what they're doing wrong. So for instance, I'm
This is like dating all over again, guys.
No, really, it's like, for instance, they're like, it's really hard for a child, or anybody, an adult, a child, to learn something because it's frustrating. So you're learning something and you're doing it wrong, and someone's telling you, no, that's not right. It stinks to hear that.
Right.
So you're like, okay, that was a little better, or that was good, okay, or you're getting it now,
Right.
but you need to land on your feet.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget to finish with your hands here.
Right.
Or so if you want to correlate to a parental situation, you have to say, hey, listen, it was good it was nice that you were trying to hide and have some fun. Let's do that, and let's play a game later. Let's play hide and seek after dinner.
Yeah.
But during this time, it's not good because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to step on you.
Yeah, that's a great point. I definitely feel like between the fact that I don't spend as much time with them because I do work all day, and the fact that I come home and I feel like I don't want my time to just be reprimanding them. I'm going to play with them and having a good time. But I do feel like the curmudgeon a little bit, and I think that's a really good piece of advice is to mix in remember to mix in some positive reinforcement, right? While you're giving them some feedback or things that they should be doing differently.
Yeah.
Because I part of what I really feel instinctively about these kids is that there's just really, it's so confusing. I feel like they're just like little adults in little bodies in a way. And even though the boys, especially my son, doesn't seem to exude that as much, he doesn't seem to be sensitive. In fact, when I really look, he's just as sensitive, if not more sensitive than my daughter.
Okay.
And my daughter expresses it verbally. He expresses it inwardly, or he just shuts down and won't actually engage. He'll just detach and just go somewhere else, and it's very difficult to talk to.
So I was reading this book that's about like how to make champions in athletics, arts, and academics.
What's that book called?
That's what it's called.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's called How to Make, and it's really a really good book. And I'm telling you, the most important part is just making stuff enjoyable and fun, like anything. Because if they like it, they're gonna want to do it. With my daughter Pearl, she doesn't like cleaning a room. Who does? A lot of kids throw their stuff down in the on the floor. So like little things you can do is buy a basketball hoop and put it on top of your basket, your laundry basket.
Yeah.
Kids will,
I've got one of those at home right now.
You got it in your, not just in his room, not in his kid's room. If you approach these situations, which is hard for an adult because we're always going, need to cook dinner, need to do this, we're responsible for our kids. So it's hard to step back and do that. So before you start those things, if you could come up with a way that's a little bit more fun
right.
or
that's got to be more fun, I guess. That's what it is.
Or less stressful for yourself.
All right. Great. Well, listen, thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of all the guys that are going to be listening to this, I want to thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
This is a great gym, a great guy. If you guys need a place for your kids to relearn how to do not just, I would say, gym, but just get to know their bodies and use them, be more coordinated in general for sports and for basic discipline as well, this is the thing to do. So check out Dan the Man.
Thanks.
Here in West LA.
Just remember, every situation and every child is different, so just do your best and have fun. Today. Well done. I'll see you guys next time, okay?